Ever wondered why lottery winners go broke within 5 years? Pro athletes earning $50 million end up in bankruptcy court. Or you build a business from zero, then bankruptcy or foreclosure. The pattern isn't bad luck. It's what happens when money outpaces the one thing King Solomon called the principal thing: wisdom. Collapse begins silently. There's a pattern, and almost nobody sees it. When I started digging into this, I found something strange. One of the smartest investors to ever live spent more time studying a book written 3,000 years ago than most modern finance books. Warren Buffett has talked openly about the importance of wisdom in shaping how he thinks. And Charlie Munger built his entire philosophy on what he called a latticework of mental models. Not just from modern business books, not a business bestseller, not a productivity hack, but from ancient writings and even biblical principles, which most people stopped reading after childhood. And here's the part that should make you stop scrolling. It's working. In ways modern self-help simply can't replicate. You're going to understand something most people never do: why some people build wealth that lasts and others lose everything. Let me show you something most people miss. This isn't new knowledge. It's ancient. Let's talk about the Book of Proverbs. Written largely King Solomon, a man known for two things: wisdom and wealth. Kings and queens didn't just visit him, they crossed entire kingdoms with wealth in hand, just to learn from him. This wasn't theory. King Solomon had power. This was someone who had already reached the top. Wealthy influence. He had it all, and instead of leaving behind strategies, principles, he left something deeper, a pattern, way of thinking that has produced results over and over again, timeless principles, not how to get rich quick, but how to build wealth without it destroying you. Because here's the truth most people miss: money doesn't fix your life. It reveals it, or amplifies it. And if there's no wisdom behind it, money exposes it. If there's no character, it accelerates the damage. If there's no wisdom, money becomes dangerous. That's why the pattern keeps repeating. Not because people don't have access to money, but because they don't have the ability to manage what comes with it. And this is exactly why one line from Proverbs 4:7 hits differently. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she will promote you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. She will place on your head an ornament of grace. A crown of glory she will deliver to you. Not money, not status, not opportunity. Instead, wisdom. When you value wisdom, it promotes you, turning discipline into wealth and knowledge into lasting success. Because wisdom isn't just moral advice, it's a strategic advantage. It's the invisible system behind every decision you make with money, people, and opportunities. Principle 1. Character. Why character? Here is an example. A businessman builds a multi-million-dollar company. On the outside, everything looks perfect. But behind the scenes, he cuts corners, lies in negotiations, breaks trust slowly. At first, nothing happens. But over time, people stop trusting him. Deals get harder. Relationships fall apart. And then one deal goes wrong, and everything collapses. Not because he lacked skill, but because he lacked character. That's why this matters. Better is a poor man who walks in integrity. Proverbs 28:6. Because integrity is not measured by what you have, it is revealed by how you live. Here is another proverb, Proverbs 11:3. The integrity of the upright will guide them, but the perversity of the unfaithful will destroy them. Because money doesn't expose success, it exposes who you already are. Character isn't part of wealth, it's the foundation of it. And here's where it gets dangerous. Because even if you have character, you can still lose everything if you don't understand. Here is a second principle. Principle 2. Discipline and compounding. A young man gets his first big paycheck. He celebrates, spends a little, then a little more. Nothing feels wrong because nothing breaks immediately. But years later, he looks back and realizes something painful. He made good money, but he never built wealth. Proverbs 13:11 says, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it." This is compounding. Not just financially, but behaviorally. Every small decision stacks. Spending, saving, investing. And here's the problem. Your brain is wired to choose now over later. So most people chase fast money. But those who build wealth, they build slow systems. But instead, delay the purchase. Automate investing. Think in decades, not days. Wealth isn't built in moments. It's built in patterns. Now here's where most people sabotage themselves. Even if they're disciplined, they're surrounded by the wrong people. Ask yourself, who do you spend most of your time with? The answer will tell you why discipline alone is not enough. That's why Principle 3 is so critical. Principle 3. Environment. You don't notice it at first. The conversations, the habits, the conversations. But slowly, you start thinking like the people around you. Proverbs says, 13:20. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. You don't just think it. You've been surrounded by it. Where staying comfortable is normal, making excuses is accepted, and distraction is constant. But in a different room, that mindset doesn't survive. Because there, comfort is dangerous, pressure is expected, and standards are non-negotiable. Your environment is either building you or breaking you. You don't rise to a new life until you enter a new environment. And that change doesn't start out there. It starts with what you allow around you. Who you listen to, what you tolerate, what you entertain daily. So if you're serious about growth, start by auditing your circle. Not everyone deserves access to you. Upgrade your conversations. Talk about vision, not just problems. Limit negativity. What you hear daily becomes what you believe. But here's the one that traps almost everyone, even smart people, even successful people. They don't look broke, but they are not free either. Because the moment you owe, you lose power. Principle 4. Debt and control. Proverbs 22:7 says, "The borrower is slave to the lender." Not metaphorically, literally. Debt limits your choices. It forces decisions. It removes freedom. Most people borrow to consume. Cars, clothes, lifestyle. While those who build wealth, they use money to acquire assets. The key question is, are you borrowing to impress or to build? Do this immediately. Avoid consumer debt. Use leverage carefully. Protect your freedom. Debt doesn't just cost money. It costs control. Now here's something almost nobody expects. One of the most powerful wealth principles has nothing to do with keeping money. In fact, it's the opposite. Principle 5, generosity. Proverbs 11:24 says, "One gives freely, yet grows richer." That may sound backwards to most people, but generosity creates opportunity, trust, reputation, access. People want to work with people who give. And the difference shows over time. So if you want to be the person people trust, the one people open doors for, start here. The fastest way to grow is to stop holding everything back. But even this won't save you if you ignore the next one. Principle 6. Humility. Pride goes before destruction. Proverbs 16:18. Every collapse or downfall has pride at the center. Thinking you know enough. Ignoring advice. Refusing correction. Stay teachable. Question yourself. Seek feedback. Learn to adapt fast. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you start falling. And this last one controls everything. Principle 7. Power of words. Proverbs 18:21. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Your words build trust or destroy it. Close deals or lose them. Wise people speak carefully. Learn, speak less. Every word you speak is a decision. Choose wisely. Your words shape your world. Lottery winners go broke. Athletes lose millions. Businesses close, not because they lacked money, but because they lacked the system to sustain it. And that system is wisdom. Not modern, but ancient. Tested across generations. Ignored by most. Used by few. And that's exactly why most people stay stuck. Not because they don't know, but because they don't apply. And if we're honest, most were never taught how. You're not stuck because you lack opportunity. You're stuck because nobody taught you the rules. Wisdom doesn't change your life. Applied wisdom does. So don't be a spectator. Be a practitioner. Subscribe if you're done consuming and ready to start applying. Because the next video might be the one that finally makes it click.